Hello everyone and welcome to the Steaming Toad, and this is a real thrill. We've had so many great guests through Toad Hall recently, but the biggest of them all is with us today. I refer to Mr. Alan Jones, well-known broadcaster, lead point man on any climate debate. Alan, thanks very much for downing the tools, leaving it alone and being with me in the swamp here at Toad Hall.
Good morning, H.G. Nelson. Let me tell you something. You've made me 10 minutes late. Now, I know this is YouTube, but I'm a very busy man. I've got things to be doing.
Yes.
Rather than this, I could be rearranging my Anthony Calere albums in alphabetical order.
Yes, well, what an exciting idea, and I just hope we can get that done as part of the program. Now, your Julia in the chaff bag comments... Your comments suggesting that we should put the Prime Minister into a Hessian bag, take her out beyond the 3 mile limit, so to speak, drop her off there and let her swim back.
Yes.
Have these comments been misinterpreted at all?
No, not at all. That's exactly what we're going to do, and I find them very helpful because, HG, I'm a helpful kind of fellow. I like to help, whether it's exposing the talents of a beautiful tenor like Anthony Calere or starting a race ride on Sydney's southern beaches. It's all very helpful.
Yeah, they may be helpful, but how do they, progress the climate debate at the moment?
Well, you don't see anybody else talking about putting Julia into sack and letting her drown, do you? Absolutely not. I think that's very helpful. Rising sea levels, those sea levels can rise right above her farm, right up above her pretty red hand.
Now, Julia, is that one of yours, or do you get a little bit of help with some of your bon mots?
Absolutely not, H.G. Nelson. I came up with Julia. By the way, H.G. Nelson, I hear that H.G. Nelson isn't even your real name, no. So perhaps I should call you H.G. Liar. How would you like that?
Well, I'd love it, Parrot. Now, there are a lot of people who say you get threats of violence. How do you handle them?
Well, basically, I live in the Sydney's Toaster, the big toaster building down at Opera Quays, and I have a pair of binoculars, and I can look out and see all my minions. And I've got an army, H.D. Nelson. I've got an army.
Of listeners?
No, of taxi drivers. They basically ride around the building, making sure no one can get in, and just waiting for my word so they can pounce.
And do they broadcast your program in the morning?
Absolutely. If they didn't broadcast my program, I wouldn't be as powerful as I am today.
Your climate change numbers, they're very, very exciting and very, very, as I understand, accurate. How do you do these calculations? Are they your own work?
Absolutely, HG. I think you absolutely forget that I used to be a maths teacher at the King's School in Parramatta. A very good school with uniforms that make little boys look like soldiers. Soldiers for truth. And speaking of truth, HG, my facts are 300% correct. I don't know if you know the facts of the warmists are actually correct only 0.00000.5% correct.
Yes, it's a hell of a difference.
You try and work that out.
300%, that's a hell of a number, isn't it? Now, authorities worry about your on-air sprays. Could people get the wrong idea about where you stand? Meaning that you're a much more cheerful sort of bloke than you pretend to be?
Absolutely not. If they just read my book, which is Alan Jones' Guide to Right Thinking, they'll find that I'm very much an angry man all the time. That book, incidentally, I wrote all by myself, and I've got a very special foreword by that other famous Alan Jones who's a sportsman.
Oh, the F1 driver, he's a terrific...
No, the coach of the Wallabies, me. Oh, boy, does he have some really interesting things to say.
And finally, how do you handle ratbag elements who don't get the pro-Parrot message, if I can put it that way?
I sit them down, I give them a good talking to.
Yes. And do you give them a tomato sandwich sometimes?
Fresh tomato sandwiches, straight off the tree. Oh!
He's exciting always, isn't he? To lock horns with the Parrot has been a real thrill. Thanks very much, Alan, for coming in today. Can I call you sir?
Yes, you may call me sir.
Join us again when the toad steams.